I am Tomislav Crnkovic. I am the lead singer and rhythm guitar player. I also do all the technical side of stuff, and that's pretty much it.
So I'm Jacob Wright. I'm the lead guitar player, and I write most of the lyrics.
My name's Dave Crnkovic, and I am the drummer.
My name is Alex, and I slap at the bass. I play the 5-string fretted and fretless, and also the NS stick.
Calgary-based progressive metal band Leviathan was formed in 2006, and soon after set to work writing their first album, The Peregrine Way, which was released in 2010. They have now been recording their second full-length album, titled Cynosure, at Perfect Fifth Audio Architects, and wanted to give some insight to the album, as well as a quick behind-the-scenes look into the process of recording.
The dictionary definition of the word cynosure kind of points towards a focal point or a guiding light or a source of inspiration, and we've used it in a slightly different context in the way that we wanted to illustrate a group of people coming together. Take that as more of a humbling sense of the word cynosure instead of like a self-aggrandized sense of, oh, look at me, I'm the source of inspiration, people should pay attention to me. That's not really what I wanted to go for with it.
We take a lot of themes from books and fiction. There's a few nonfiction references as well, but a lot of it's fiction-based. We like talking about mythology and just a lot of cool things that you can really expand on lyrically if people care.
I think the sound has changed quite a bit. It's more of a progression than a change. I believe we're just like, everyone, you know, is getting better at their instruments. We're learning how to write songs better, I think. Like, it's just, all the songs are flowing better, the entire album flows better. So I think it's just, you know, all our ideas that we already had in the first album, just a little better. I think it's just a step up.
The biggest thing would be the experience that we learned from the first one, just in terms of how to put an album together, the equipment we're using, software, our own skill and abilities, all of that has increased over the last 2-3 years that we've been putting together this one. So it's become a lot easier, a lot less stressful, a lot more enjoyable, and thanks to technology and other people that are helping out like Sasha, it's just become a much more fun process, whereas the last one was getting pretty tedious and strenuous and frustrating for sure.
So we've changed our sound, I guess, to reflect our changing tastes. As well, we do take criticism to heart a little bit. I mean, not to heart to get all sad about it, but you know, to see what we can do to I don't know, I guess, appeal to our target audience more. And that was a very minor part in our change. We've gotten a lot heavier. We're toying with a lot of death metal influence. We're going to be having some guest death metal vocals on the album. I'd say overall it's a lot more progressive, it's a lot darker, it's a lot more focused while still being experimental, as in the tangents, the progressive tangents we go on don't seem disjointed from the general theme of the song. I think it's more focused, but we're exploring grounds that we've never been down before, and so I think it's pretty exciting, but anyone expecting a power metal album, they're not going to get it. I don't think in any sense of the word it's a power metal album.
The difference between the two albums recording-wise is definitely the time frame that we've put ourselves in and having a sort of plan. The first album was not very well planned out. It started off with a demo, turned into a short EP. We were going to have a couple, 2-3 songs to release. We didn't have a singer at the time when we actually started, so it was sort of a way to get, actually we didn't have a bass player or a singer thought out, so we were going to use these songs to recruit people, and it just sort of snowballed after that into, yeah, we should just eventually have an album, and it just took forever. This time around, it's what you should be doing. You should have your songs written, you should plan when you want to release it and do the best job that you can. So we've definitely condensed what we've done in the first album in a lot of, comparatively, yeah, it's going to take less time to do for sure.
The band has entrusted the task of mixing and mastering the album to good friend and fellow musician Sasha Laska. Sasha gave some detail about the steps he takes when mixing and how that applies to Leviathan.
different genres of metal definitely get different treatments. Just things might be less or more prevalent, like keyboards, for instance, with Viathan, you know, are going to be a huge part of it. Whereas with other bands, they might be a background thing. So that definitely changes how you approach it. But a lot of things, conversely, are approached the same way. I mean, everybody wants big drums and fat guitars and clear vocals, you know, like there's universal things too. First creative step is usually just throw up all the faders just to hear all the tracks, basically see what I've got to work with, and just get an idea of what the song's about. And then when I really get into it, I'll start with drums. Drum tracks is where I actually start like shaping sounds and things like that. Yeah, I usually listen to the overall thing first, and then I'll start kind of zoning into different instruments, but it's not like a linear process. So you're always going back and forth between soloing things, and which is just listening to one thing, and listening to everything together. So it's kind of, you're always jumping back and forth between those. I enjoy just the creative parts, like once you have your basic tones and everything sounding decent, then you can really get creative with things like special effects and automation, and like just kind of bringing it to life more so than trying to fix something. So I like that aspect the best.
As Viathan approaches the end of the recording of Cynosure, they're keeping their fans in mind, with the hopes that they will recognize the effort that Viathan has put in to improve on the Peregrine Way, and will enjoy the album as much as the band has enjoyed making.
Expectations for the second album, I'd say, I hope the fans get like an eargasm.
Hopefully the fans can look forward to a progression in the band, both the sound, sonically, how the album is being recorded, as well as our own abilities and our own kind of skills, because we've been, you know, playing for a lot longer now. We've all kind of taken the time to learn our instruments a lot better. We've challenged ourselves with this album too, so we've done, you know, faster parts, more technical parts, things like that. So that would probably be the biggest surprise, as well as wish, I can say, that the fans will hopefully look forward to for the new album.
You get away with a bit on your first album as sort of, you know, people just expect it's a new band, first album, you can do whatever. And second time around, they're probably going to be a little more critical. So I think we've answered those questions, hopefully, and we'll see when it comes out.
We're hoping their ear pussies get fucked, and